Hey y'all, so today I'm gonna walk you through some of my Miss Universe looks. As a fashion designer and someone who put a lot of preparation into my wardrobe for Miss Universe, I wanna share with y'all my thought process behind some of my favorite pieces. Let's start with my interview outfit. So that was one of my favorite looks and I actually designed and made it myself, and the whole concept behind it was a beautiful storm. So I wanted to show that amidst chaos and any adversity that you're going through in life, that you can always find beauty in it. Because for me, training for Miss Universe, I had 3 months as Miss USA, and it was filled with lots of ups and downs and times where I felt like I wanted to give up because I felt overwhelmed. But I was always pushing myself to find beauty in the chaos. So I turned that pain into my passion, and I actually used that as my concept for the outfit. It actually has a one shoulder ruffle, and I hand painted that on silk. Silk is actually a sustainable natural fiber, so it's eco-friendly, something I'm very passionate about. And I wanted to create the idea of clouds and thunderstorms on that ruffle piece. So I hand painted navies and whites and blacks. So actually making this design, it was trial and error because I knew I wanted a shape and volume happening on my shoulder, but I didn't really quite know exactly how to make it work. So I think I made the ruffle about 2 or 3 times and played with it until I finally got the shape that I wanted right. And it took about, I think, 3 weeks. I worked on it here and there over time, just as I was training for Miss Universe too. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. And then I knew I wanted to do a jumpsuit. So I did a fitted jumpsuit and made the legs really long so I could stand tall. And I always feel powerful in a jumpsuit. The next outfit I'm gonna talk about is the swimsuit cape. That one, I put so much time and effort into it. I was actually working on it for 2 weeks straight up until leaving to Miss Universe. So I remember working on it on Christmas Day, I worked on it on New Year's Eve, and that one I had no idea what direction I wanted to go. I just knew my concept, and my saying was, if not now then when. That's my favorite saying. So I put that font on the actual cape, and the idea and inspiration behind it was the story of the phoenix rising from the ashes. And it was a very personal story because, as I mentioned, going into Miss Universe, my training was very turbulent. It was full of ups and downs and times where I was self-doubting myself and I felt like the world was against me, but I wanted to show the power of rising from those ashes and those hardships. I dyed it so many different colors. I used reds, oranges, blacks, and even grays. And for each color, I had to dye it in a pot, steam it, heat set it, and then let it dry, and then do another color. So it was a long process of trial and error, and every time I would dye it, I would look at it and think, do I want to dye it again? Am I overdoing it? So I think I dyed it 5 times. And for the actual finals night, I added on wings to emulate the phoenix rising in the bird's wings. Those I took plastic bottles that I collected over about 2 weeks from different people. I was like, hey, just save your plastic bottles because I'm gonna use it for an art project. So I took the plastic bottles, I cut them up and actually painted them and melted the edges of them so they wouldn't poke anything. And then I made them into like a flame wing type shape and hot glued them on the back. I really wanted to show everyone on the Miss Universe stage how you can use something that we all think is trash, which is a plastic bottle, and make art from it, and just how you can really push your creative mind to think outside the box. So that took a really, really long time. I stayed up till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. almost every night, just playing with those wings and trying to get it right because I had never made a piece like that before. And I almost gave up on it, but I'm glad I stuck through it. I finished it just in time. I actually finished the whole cape and back piece the day I left for Miss Universe, the day I actually drove out. The morning of, I remember I was still gluing on pieces and tweaking them, and I said, finally, I need to take a step back and be finished with the project already. And then pulled it out on finals night to have that kind of surprise effect on stage. So for the prelims gown, it was all about performance and using a pop of color. So I went with a fuchsia color because that was one of my favorite colors that I had been wearing lately, and I thought it would stand out in a sea of beautiful gowns on stage. And the inspiration was to capture the essence of Mardi Gras, because when you think of Mardi Gras, it's very colorful and it's fun. So when I told the designer Rian Fernandez what I wanted, I said, hey, let's do something bold. Let's use a fuchsia color and let's incorporate a cape, because I knew I wanted some sort of reveal fashion moment on stage. So that's when the whole idea of the arm cape came about. So the designer is actually from the Philippines, so he shipped the gown over, and of course I got it last minute. And when I tried it on, the cape had the arm piece that you saw on stage, but it also had a cape that goes to the ground. And I thought, I think that's just a little too much for what I envisioned. So in the last minute, we cut the cape out and just kept the arm piece on, and I think it worked out really well. Actually walking out on stage, I was just saying, let me make this a whole moment. I really need to feel the energy of the crowd and feel the drama. So when I was walking out, I said, I've got to hit it at the right time. I've got to do my turn at the right time. And I want to just have drama and really milk it. So I'm telling myself all these things in my head. I'm thinking about how I need to have eye contact and connect with the judges and really just have that confidence and power on stage. And when I tell myself all those things, that emotion just overflows on stage, and it's that expression that I'm able to bring. For finals gown, I knew I wanted to take a risk and do something that I don't think a lot of girls do on stage, and that's to use black. Black is a color that I love wearing, but I don't wear a lot for a gown. And I wanted something edgy, something really fierce, and I wanted to incorporate glass fringe because the movement of glass fringe to me is so beautiful. So I told all these things to the designer, Rian Fernandez, and I said, do your thing. I was like, let's do shoulders, let's do long sleeve, we can do slits. I really just wanted to be out there and, you know, not hold back in any type of way. And when I got the gown and I opened it in person, I was not sure if I liked it. I said, there's a lot going on with this dress. I know it's a risk, but I said, let me be fearless and go for it. And when I actually put it on stage and I was walking out, I just told myself, this is my moment to shine. This is a message to show everybody to not be scared, to be different. I know the gown is unique, but I embraced it. And actually, when I found out the Force for Good crown had blue on it, I contacted the designer last minute and I said, let's add a little bit of blue on the shoulders just so we can match the crown and manifest winning Miss Universe. All right, so that is some of my favorite looks that I wore at Miss Universe. As a designer, it's one of my favorite ways to express myself through my wardrobe. So if you have any suggestions or any ideas you want to see from me or other looks you want me to describe, comment below.